Okay. I missed you guys since we had to skip the team call because of the power outages. But I'm really excited about a couple things. One of them being our new coach challenge. Like, I'm really excited. So this is where my mind went. I was on a 5 to 8, my 5 to 8 star mastermind yesterday. I have those on Tuesday mornings, and there's incredible coaches on there that you guys know. And we were like, the topic was getting new coaches taking action quickly and getting them to have success quickly. And it was funny because Sydney, our corporate mentor, was leading the call, and she's like, okay, guys, so this is a mastermind. So you come here with your best practices and share with us what's working for you. And like, I've got the baby in one hand and a pen in the other, because this is one of my personal biggest weaknesses. And I think in our team, it's one of our biggest weaknesses. And so I'm ready, and it's like crickets. And I'm like, you guys are like at the top of the company, and no one has any. I unmuted myself. I'm the talker, if you can't imagine that. And I'm like, you guys, I'm ready to learn from you. Like, I was like, this is not my strength at any capacity, but and then they started sharing some things, and like, one of the things that Kate Schultes had shared, because everyone was asking her, they're like, Kate, you have so many success starters. You have a lot of your coaches that take action quickly. What do you do? What training is it? Like, what do you give them? And it was interesting because we always, myself, I'm the queen of this, try to overcome. Oh, excuse you. Try to overcomplicate everything. Like, we feel like we have to have like an in-depth system or training manual, like the 20+ page one that I created. I don't think that's a bad thing, but for new coaches, it's not what they need necessarily. And so she was like, to be honest, I'm trying to think what I do, because all that I do is I tell them, Success Club and Emerald is what you're going to do. Now go do it. And I asked her, like, okay, do you give them like a link for how to do share a cart? Do you tell them how to invite? She's like, not really. I get them started on the tracker. She changed the tracker in Canva, the Beachbody tracker, to have 15 invites a day instead of 5. And one of the coaches and one of the other coaches asked, okay, so what do you do for the people who come to you and say, I don't have 15 people to invite, I don't know 15 people? And she, like, without a flinch, was like, I've never had someone tell me that. She goes, we have such an invite expectation, an invite culture in our team. And if someone was really to tell me that they don't have 15 people to invite, I would go to their Facebook and say, you have 700 Facebook friends. Go invite them. Like, that's her. And that's what I've always admired about Kate, is that, and I think it's why she's such a unicorn in this business. Like, she's so successful because she's just like an invite machine. And those of you who are on this call, like Felicia and Sarah and Jamie, you guys probably know that about her, is like, she's the kind of coach that teaches you invite everybody every day. She like did 100 invites a day. That was how she grew her business. Now, that's not for everybody. Some people will get burnt out on that, and then they will never want to coach again. So I'm not saying that we need to do that, but anyways, everyone, she said, I don't have a new coach onboarding system anymore. I use Beachbody's new coach, the 5 training videos, that's it. And some other coaches had shared what they do, and it's all very simple. It's hand holding new coaches through the steps. And when I was looking at our elite report and did the video in our team page about where our team is at for elite for 2021, and I see that our, like, getting a new coach, their first Success Club point in their first month, and newer coaches in 2019, 2020 hitting Success Club, those are our biggest weaknesses. I'm realizing it's systemic throughout the company of Beachbody. So the way that my brain works, I'm always like, oh, if that's everyone's weakness, let's make that our strength. And I think for everyone, I know for everyone, the way that we build residual income And the way that we maximize our impact, because this is like financial stability is very important for all of our families. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to apologize about that. What's amazing is that the way that we build financial stability is through really making an impact in people's lives. And we can't do all of that by ourselves. You know, I think that's an important perspective for all of us to remember, is that we will help more people if we can help more coaches help more people. And it's both for our financial freedom, but it's also for our impact that we together can make. And I know that everyone on our team, excuse you, little lady. Oh, that was nice. Everyone on our team, because this is what we are about, that matters. Like that we're actually helping people, that we're actually helping them get results, and that they're better because they're a part of what we're doing. So that being said, I really, through the end of the year, would love for all of us, especially the leaders on our team, for us to kind of team together and mastermind on how do we get more working coaches, how do we find more working coaches, and how do we empower them to be successful immediately within their first 24 to 48 hours. And so as I was thinking about this, I'm like, we have, like, what I've ever, nothing I've done has worked for new coaches. I've tried a lot of things, but I'm really excited about what we're doing right now with our new coach challenge. Like, if you guys are in, I know that Felisa is in the, and I think Nikki are the only two right now that are like leader coaches in that thread, and they have some of their new coaches in there. But you guys, I was reading through and scrolling through all the new coaches who did their post yesterday for task number 1, and it was so amazing. And it was so cool, right? Like, so incredible, the stories, and I'm just so, like, it gave me goosebumps to read through everything. So those of you newbies who posted your story yesterday, I'm so proud of you, and I'm excited for today. I just posted it before this call of what day number 2 is going to be. And that I wanted to kind of highlight the 3 tasks for today. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask. But I think it's going to help serve all of us, because we forget that this is the meat and potatoes of our business sometimes. Like, especially sometimes when you get to diamond and above, we forget that this is the meat and potatoes. We have to focus the majority of our time still on doing our social media engagement to find more people, and then sending the invites, connecting with people, asking them questions, giving them a solution, and how that works. So I titled this team call Expectation is Contagious, and that's the first part of today's topic for the new coaches in this challenge, is it's important for us to really take an inventory of what we're expecting. And I've been listening to Elevation Church as I'm working out every morning. And so I'm like, and I love Stephen Furtick. He's the pastor, and he's so, like, animated. And so in my workouts, I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, my legs are on fire. Yes, such a good point. I got to go write that down. Oh wait, I got to go back and do the speed rope. Like, I'm kind of a mess. But the message was on expectation is contagious, and so is cynicism. And I was like, wow, that's so true. And I want to be the person that expects success, that expects greatness, that expects today to be amazing, that expects that expects results at the end of my program, because I expect greatness from myself, that expects myself to be able to, like, rise to the occasion when life gets hard, and expects the people around me to do that, and not in a, like, pressure way, in a, like, excited way. You know what I mean? Because I think we all know the opposite, and it's really easy to fall into the opposite. And for new coaches, this is so common. You expect people to say no. You expect people to think you're crazy. You expect people to judge you. You expect people to say it's too expensive. You, like, subconsciously, people will send invites. And this is, if you are this person, you are not alone. Like, this is honestly, in my experience, the vast majority of newer coaches, and even I struggled with a little bit of this. I thought when I invite people to like try Shakeology, I know I'm going to get price objections. Guess what I got? Price objections. But as soon as I shifted my perspective and I was like, holy crap, the solutions that we have for people's life is insanely inexpensive. All of a sudden my expectations shifted and I don't get price objections. And if I do, it doesn't faze me because I'm like, I totally get where you're at and you're in a hard financial situation. Let me tell you, I used to charge $100 a session for health coaching. $100 a session. We're giving people for $160 a full year virtual gym membership, a health formula for a full month that actually should cost closer to $400. I've done the math and I used to pay that for individual ingredients. 2 premium nutrition programs, one of them that is taught by a registered dietitian who has her own business that people pay $300 for a half an hour session with her. She's booked out for 2 years in Beverly Hills and we get all of her secrets. And that's just one, that's just one nutrition program. The other one has changed countless lives and is proven to work and is based on science. And you're getting all of this with meal plans and recipes and things for your kids, like recipes and meal plans for the whole family and tools to teach your kids how to be healthier. Like, this is changing generations and it's $160. Like, that's crazy. Are you kidding me? Like, if you add up, if you look in your bank account and look at what you spent in Starbucks for the last month or so, like, for a lot of people, it would surpass $160. And so if we can have that kind of conviction, expectation, when we're talking to people, when we're posting on social media, when we're talking about coaching, I feel like that's the one area that takes a little bit longer sometimes to have that kind of conviction about. But once you get it, that you're like, holy shit, I can make 6 to 7 figures from my house with my kids around, doing what I love on my own hours and never miss a soccer game. Like, that's insane. In 4 years of nursing school, I spent $100,000 and nearly ended up with a heart attack in my early 20s because it was so friggin' stressful, yet people praised me for it. And 4 years into coaching, I've matched my nursing income and done it working part-time hours from home with my kids. And now we're able to move because of my income that doesn't change when I move states. Like, that's freedom. That's incredible. That I have conviction about because that's just one element, right? I have you guys. Like, we have a freaking amazing team and positive community in a very toxic world. And the fact that, I don't know about you guys. Oh, that was awesome. She's like, Mom, you're getting too excited and it's making me nauseous. That's what's happening. I don't know about you guys, but the fulfillment factor of being a part of a solution in our world right now, like, we really are making a difference in people's lives. Whether or not you feel that, you are. Even when you just show up on social media and show people that this is one way that you can respond and react in the middle of hardship, in the middle of a pandemic, that's making a difference in people's lives. Like, you're brightening up the dark world of social media. That's a big deal. Like, that's so cool. We get to be a part of that for our job. We get to be a good example to our kids for our job. Our job makes us better wives and moms and healthier and happier and more confident. Like, that's amazing. I don't know about you guys, but my job did not make me that before. Like, I was not that before. That's a side effect of what we do. And so having that kind of expectation and conviction, I think, is really important for us to take 5 minutes before we ever talk to people or before we send out invites or even before you're doing a post on social media to remember this gets hard. It does. This is a people business. It gets hard. It's a business too. There's logistics of we're dealing with COVID ruining the world and shipping delays right now that are causing people to be very frustrated, and that's hard. You know, there are definitely, this requires hard work. It requires tenacity. It requires creativity. It requires us to like dig into the areas of ourselves that we would rather just like, I'm just not good at that, so I'm going to leave it over there and I'm going to do what I'm comfortable at. You know, it requires us to get uncomfortable and all of those things. That is true. But when we can have clarity on the root of what we're doing and why we're doing it, beautiful things happen, you know? So for all of us, I want to encourage everyone to kind of reconnect to that today. For the coaches that are participating in the New Coach Challenge, that's what I mean when I say expectation. Really check yourself and check yourself in your journey, because I don't know about you guys, I'm sure we all have had clients that are like, expect themselves to fail. And maybe we have expected ourselves to fail. I'm going to do this 21-day group, but I'm expecting me to not lose any weight, and I'm expecting myself to not see results at the end of it, because then it will confirm what I think about myself and that I'm broken and I'm a failure. So, like, subconsciously, a lot of people feel that way. Like, that's their truth. They may not ever say it out loud, but I've been there. Like, I don't know about you guys, but in my life before, I've been there where I felt broken. I felt like I had tried every weight loss program or whatever, and I thought that I was broken, and I was expecting the next thing that I tried to fail before I ever tried it. And I think people do that to themselves in this business too, whether you're new or whether you've been in it for 10 years. You know, there's that element of proof in our brains of our past, like, well, I failed before, I tried this before, I tried to hit diamond before, I tried to hit whatever before, and it didn't work, and I couldn't do it, so obviously I can't. And then we self-sabotage ourselves. So take inventory of where your expectation is today and choose. It's a battlefield. We have to fight for that mindset of, this is why I'm doing it. This, like, I'm made for this. I know I'm made to make people's lives better. I know that's what I'm called to, and I know that this works if people do it. It won't work if Shakeology sits in your cabinet and you never press play on a workout. But if they do it, we know that this works. Coaching, I know, I'll speak for myself, I know that if anyone works hard at this with clarity on why they're doing it and is consistent with some time each day and moving forward, and they have the mindset of, I'm going to be successful, it's not going to be overnight, and I'm not going to have my dream life in a year. I know that. I'm probably not going to have it in 2 years. I know that, but I'm in it for the long run, and I know that this is a vessel that can get me to my dream life if I am consistent and work hard and keep pushing through. Then that shifts everything in our clarity of our actions. So expectation number one, does that, like, can anyone resonate with that before I keep talking? Like, is that helpful at all? Okay.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt the fire, but yes.
Oh, please. Make my daughter barf again.
I was actually just having this conversation with one of my coaches yesterday, where about how we define our future expectations according to our past limitations.
Ooh,
and
good.
I think just recognizing that and realizing that we're doing that is really important.
That's so good. I totally agree.
And I mean, personally, for me, I can tell you that when I first became a coach, and that's why I harp on expectations myself so much with my coaches and just with people in general, that if you go into anything in life expecting failure, that is what you will receive. Wow, son. 15-year-old grunts, nothing you can do about that. But, that's, as far as like the price objection, that's not even a thing for me anymore after I started working at Orange Theory. I mentioned this before, but not everybody has heard this. The membership that you pay for Orange Theory to go 4 times a month Now, mind you, 4 workouts a month, no nutrition, no, not much variety. I mean, there's some, don't get me wrong, they're good workouts, is $90 a month for 4 times a month.
Wow.
So anytime anybody wants to tell me, oh, but it's so expensive, I've got to laugh out loud. Like, I literally do, because it's only expensive to you where you're currently at in your situation. That's where, you know, you have to stop thinking that because you feel a way that someone else is going to feel that way. And that's like, even in the coach thread that we had, I don't remember who it was talking about how she sends out a lot of samples. She even said, I know I would want to try it first. So that's why she's almost expecting people to tell her they want to try it first. And so she's probably kind of already expecting to say, yeah, I'll let you try it first. When we go to a grocery store and we buy a big bag of shakes, or we buy a cereal, or we buy this or that, we don't get to try it first. We have to go, oh, this might be good, let me see. And most of the time, no one takes it back if you don't like it. So, I mean, I totally, completely agree with you. The expectations you walk into anything with, it's what's going to determine the outcome.
I love that. That's so good. Hi, Britton. I'm glad that you joined us. Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing that, you guys. I think it's so powerful, and it's so important, because honestly, if this isn't right, it's going to skew everything. It's going to skew your conversations. You're not going to enjoy this business. You're not going to enjoy your journey. And that's such a huge element to what we do, because if we're not finding joy in it, then it's not going to last. You know, you're going to get burnout, and it's just not going to work. So that's the majority of what I wanted to share today, to just for everyone to take inventory. But I do want to walk through just really quick. I very much spelled out like how to invite from a post, but I wanted to just kind of highlight some of that just in case anyone has any questions. And I think it's a good reminder for all of us, myself included, that this can be so simple. Why social media is important is because that's how we share who we are. That's how we build trust with people. I know that there are other ways to build this business. Someone was asking me, I was on a new coach or a call with someone who's interested in coaching. She's like, well, I'm not on social media. I'm a single mom. I just lost my job because of COVID. And like, do I have to do all the things you do on social media? And of course that you don't. My perspective on social media is it's such a blessing, because especially in our world right now, I have 3 kids, and even when I worked full time in prison, I'm not in mom groups. I'm not like, I don't do those things. I know I don't have time, and I won't do that. And so if I didn't have social media, I wouldn't have a business, because there really would be no way to meet people and connect with people, and for them to see who I am, like, and what is important to me. It's not like, hey, yeah, friend, let's go to coffee and let me tell you all about myself. Like that, I would feel super annoying. Like, let me tell you all about what's important to me. And like, it's just such a blessing. I think when we start seeing social media as a huge blessing and a vessel and a tool, then it's less intimidating, maybe. So doing the post like we did, I challenged everyone to yesterday. I put 4 points. If you missed them, check the challenge from yesterday. 4 points to pay attention to. And this was my favorite part in seeing how people did this. Like the first one was make your first sentence eye-catching, something that everyone determined. Studies have shown that people decide if they're going to read your post by the first line. And so I gave the example of, I've done this before. It was like a couple years ago, where literally my first line was sex. ... Now that I have your attention, let me tell you about what I'm doing, like my health journey or whatever. But it's like, and it was funny. Well, the things I saw yesterday, like, there were some really powerful ones. And then it was Alyssa's. I was laughing so hard. She was like, turtles breathe out of their butts. Now that I have your attention. I was like, that was so perfect. Like getting in that habit of paying attention to just little tweaks that can make a big difference. Everyone did amazing. So once we have a post, this is the benefit. You can recycle this process every day if you're posting every day. So on your post from yesterday, you go and you look at who liked or who commented on your post from yesterday. And then I did a sample invite of how you reach out to them. Now, the big mistake that a lot of coaches make is they wait for people to reach out to them. They wait for people to say, hey, I saw your post, I'm interested. That is a huge mistake. And I don't know one person who's been very successful by having that approach. You will, over time, have people reach out to you, but if you base your business just off of that, it will not work. So we have to reach out to them. So there's different mindset shifts that help with this. A lot of successful coaches say, if there is a Taylor Swift concert, or insert your favorite person, and they're doing a concert, like, how would you invite people to come with you? Would you feel awkward and be like, I know that tickets might be a little bit expensive, and I know it's going to be crowded, and I'm not sure if you would really want to do this, but I'm going to this Taylor Swift concert. You probably won't want to go because you're probably too busy, but I just kind of wanted to let you know. No, right? Like, you probably like, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift's coming. I don't like Taylor Swift, so I don't know why I'm using that, but other people. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm Felisa. I love Taylor Swift. Oh my gosh, she's here. It's going to change our lives. We have to go together, and we're going to sing all the songs, and it's going to be incredible. We'll make memories for forever. The expectation, the vibe, the excitement is different in those two approaches. And so think of it like that. I've always liked, if you're having a party, people are going to feel super awkward to invite themselves to your party. But if you're posting about this party you're having at your house, and that it's going to be amazing, and that you're having it catered, and that special people are going to be there, I don't know. And you expect people, and you're like, no one came to my party. I posted about it. I talked about it every day. Nobody came. This isn't for me. I'm not a party thrower. What would you say to me? Well, duh, Jessica, you have to send invitations so that people know that they can be a part and come to your party. And so that's what coaching is. That's how we invite people to what we're doing. We do not have to get complicated. We do not have to overthink it. And that's probably the biggest mistake that most people make. You just say, I'm so excited about what I'm doing. This is how it's changed my life. Or if you're brand new and you haven't even tried to work out yet, you say, I'm so excited about what I'm going to do. Look at the results people are getting. I can do this from home. I know you're busy too. I know you're stuck homeschooling your kids from home too. I know you're stressed out too and living off of coffee and wine. So let's get healthy together. Like, we could do a workout together every day at noon on our kids' lunch hour. Well, I don't know. I'm just making things up. But it's genuine. It's real. It's authentic. And what happens if they tell you no? Nothing. Like, you will not disintegrate into powder. Like, you will not turn into fire. Nothing will happen. Like, think of the worst case scenario. I think this is what stops so many people from inviting people. What are people going to think? What if they say no? What if they think that I'm trying to sell to them? Has anyone, I used to struggle with that in the beginning. What if they think I'm not a salesperson? I am not a salesperson. And I don't think any of you would say that I act like a salesperson, because I'm not a salesperson. So if you don't want to be a douchey salesperson, don't be a douchey salesperson. Just tell people what you're doing and tell them that you care about them and that you want them to do it with you, and it will not come across the way that you don't want it to come across, And I think that's where personal development and being solid in who you are and what you're doing is so important first, because if people don't get that, that's on them, that's not on you. If they're not ready to accept your gift, your offer to coaching, or your offer to be a part of your Fit Fam, or your offer to help them, that's on them, that's not on you. Don't take that personally. It will happen, I promise you. And the more successful you get, you're going to get the trolls of the internet out there. And then it's really fun to mess with them. because you're like, oh my gosh, you just really need a hug. Like, really? You just, I mean, I get that periodically now, and Liz gets it all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, people just really need a hug. They need Jesus and Shakeology or something. Like, really, that's what needs to happen. Okay, so I put the scripts on the invite of how to reach out to those people. Those of you who are brand new and the list of 15 people that are family or close to you, I put an option for an invite to them, because obviously you're not going to reach out to your mom and say, hi, Gina, thank you so much for your support and your love on my post yesterday. It really means a lot. Like, most likely you're going to reach out to your mom and be like, well, if this is what I did. I was like, Mom, do this with me. Check out this chick's results. Let's do this program together. Give me your social security number and your credit card. I'm going to sign you up. You know, like, that's just how I did it. So everyone needs to do what is them, obviously, in your own words. But make sure that you make a list of all the people that you invite, because you're going to want to follow up with them, and you're going to so regret not making a tracking list. And if you've been a coach for a while, you know this. And if you still don't have a list, you need to make a new one. And the one thing I added on here too was when people say no, and I learned this from Whitney Small. She's in one of my masterminds, but she's like, when people say no, I still give them something. So if people say, no thanks, like, I'm not interested, oh gosh, I put a resource on the thing I posted today that just says, okay, no problem. Thanks so much for getting back to me. I'm not sure if you're a taco fan, like I am, but I wanted to send this to you just in case. And there's a Beachbody on demand blog with the 10 best taco recipes or something. And you send them something, because what you're doing is you're establishing credibility and value even when they're saying no. Because I'm sure, like, Sarah can attest to this. When people say no, a lot of times they'll come back around. Like, anyone who's been a coach for a while, if people say no to you, they'll usually come back around only if you keep showing up. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh. Sorry. Okay. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Pivoting. I would love to know who on our team is gonna be launching 30-day breakaway and kind of collaborating together, because I found a bundle on Etsy that's a really great looking. It includes promotional materials and challenge group materials. It's $75, but it's for your coach and for you and your entire downline. So anybody who's wanting to really launch that, like, maybe we could send some money to Jessica and just have her buy it for all of us.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that, because we together decided we were going to do a virtual 5K the day before Thanksgiving, because it maps out that way. So
Yes.
it's awesome, because a lot of people like to do like either a Thanksgiving run or, something like that. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. Plus promoting that they get a medal, believe it or not, like someone who has done 2 half marathons, the medals, you love them. Like, it's weird, I know, but you're like all about the medals. So it's pretty cool that they give you that. So I'm definitely doing it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd be totally down. I know I'm not going to do the program just because running hurts my back, but I think that's genius. Like, marketing, who wants to run a virtual 5K with our team. It's the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. Okay. Sarah, would you mind doing a post in our leadership page and asking?
Not at all.
That way we can get the word out. I think that's.
And we actually have on our calendar too, just ideas for you guys, a 3-day cleanse the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So people are going to be like, so they can already plan, like, I know I'm going to eat what I'm not supposed to be eating. So, and then it kind of, so it's at the end of the 3-day, the 30-day breakaway, do your 5K, you have Thanksgiving, you do a 3-day cleanse, and then you start another program.
Love that. Genius.
And Jessica, I was just going to ask you about the new coach group. Are you doing it looks like you're doing the like posts and assignments in the coach leadership page, and then you're just using the messenger group for accountability for people to check in?
Yeah, because I think that even people who are not new coaches could benefit from seeing the assignments or the tasks.
Mhm.
So that was kind of my thought behind it. And
Okay.
then we're just checking in the thread and then asking questions in the thread. And it's cool because it's always awesome when new coaches together can be new coaches and learn and grow together. Because as you guys know, it can be very isolating and lonely, and then you start getting in your head like, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do this. And so, yeah, it's been really cool so far. I will say this is the first new coach thread though. It's been a success for me, but I've never done it this way. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you guys are all more than welcome to invite any new coaches that want to participate. And then I just add, I'll just add, like Sarah, if you put some of your new coaches in there, I would add you obviously to make sure that you're in there too. Yeah, I'm excited about it. And I have a tracking accountability sheet that I made for everyone to add their own names and check off their tasks as they do it, and then update their Success Club numbers as they get people signed up. So I'm trying, you know me and my brain, I pivot. I sometimes go in a circle because I pivot so quickly, and no one can ever follow me in my brain because I just change. I am Sarah's worst nightmare because of how I run my life sometimes. And which is why I need people like her to ground me. But yeah, I was like, well, let's just try something because it's something that I know everybody needs and everybody wants to work on. But what I'm excited about and what I'm planning on is that we'll do this once a month. If it works well, we'll do this once a month, and we'll just have a challenge, and we'll start it maybe at the beginning of every month or something. Cool.
Well, I have one question.
Yeah.
So I have a friend, I didn't expect her to reach out to me about it, but she is just newly pregnant, very much by the book, all about the, prenatals and all of that. And so she's wanting to, to work out with me. And I totally think there's great programs on Beachbody that she can use, no problem. It's more that supplements and stuff obviously aren't, they're kind of iffy for doctors and people when they're pregnant right now. At least I see that that's sometimes a drawback for people. And I guess I don't know necessarily how to either to give her that opportunity and then give her the research and let it be her thing, or like you were just talking about how we don't want to make our own interpretations of what people are thinking. We want to give them the information. We want to let them know what's going on and then kind of leave it in their corner. I'm just trying to figure out how to approach that without putting my 2 cents in and my projections.
Yeah, absolutely. So these people who are pregnant, you're more than welcome to always do a 3-way chat or something with me, just because I've had 3 babies, and for 2 of them, I drank Shakeology the whole way through. I'm not sure, Britton, have you seen the blog post I wrote about pregnancy and Shakeology?
I don't know if I've seen it yet.
Okay. I'll send it to you because you
Okay.
can send that to her, and absolutely it's her decision. But I will tell you, because I'm a nut about these kinds of things with ingredient safety and all of that. Oh, thank you, Salisha. Salisha posted it in the chat thread.
Okay.
But Shakeology is actually very safe. I always recommend the vegan formula for pregnant women because there's no fortified vitamins in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's totally awesome. Yeah.
It won't, yeah. So it won't, it's only what's naturally present, in the carrots and in that kind of thing. So they're only pure superfoods, whereas the whey formula does have fortified vitamins and minerals in it to meet what they want to see on the nutritional label. So the vegan formula is great for people who are taking prenatals or who are on doing some kind of vitamin therapy where they don't want anything to interfere. Shakeology won't interfere because it's only actual food in it. There's no isolated anything. So yeah, so that's why I would recommend that. I mean, I even drank Energize through my pregnancy, I felt way better drinking that than coffee. Coffee really affected me when I was pregnant. And there's only, the caffeine in Energize is only equivalent to an 8-ounce cup of coffee. So it's safe per caffeine regulations. And the only other ingredients is quercetin, which is, I mean, obviously she can do her own research, but it's actually really great for your immune system. And it has magnesium in it, which is very important for our bodies and great during pregnancy. And then beta alanine is an amino acid. So there's not, when you ask a doctor, like, can I drink pre-workout when I'm pregnant? They're always going to tell you no, and they should. But if you look at the ingredients, that there's nothing that's been shown to be harmful. So that's just my own experience and the decision that I made for me and my babies. There's even a Facebook group that's for Beachbody Bumps, and everyone drinks Shakeology through it. There's a lot of people have asked their doctor. I know we have one up here that has said no to Shakeology because of the vitamin A, and it's in my blog post. It's different. It's different. It's not an isolated synthetic vitamin A, which can be
the fortified piece.
Yeah, it can definitely be harmful.
Okay.
So yeah, so I would tell her, you're more than welcome to connect her with me if she has any questions. And if you want me to help at all, I'm more than happy to do that. But I personally think it's really helpful. And then both of our nutrition programs have modifications for pregnancy. So
those are like all the things that I imagine I want to have like an email on, and like, or not an email, but like just like give her something, then not just a shop a cart. You know, I might want to like pull up this is an email just to kind of give you an idea of these different pieces and parts, or like some, things that people get concerned about, but here's these answers, just so that it's just, she has all the information.
Yeah, I would. Sure. So I would say, unless she is concerned about something specific, when you tell people this is
go for it right away.
Concerned about, then they're going to be concerned about it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
The way I usually help with pregnant women is I will send them my blog post, and I will tell them, you're more than welcome to ask your doctor about this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. Even though I am an RN, I will always say, like, I'm not a medical professional. And then you just give them, like, this is what I did. That's how I use, like, this is what I did during my pregnancy, or this is what I found. But sometimes too much information will overwhelm people too, I've noticed. Like, if we give them too much to look through, they get like, this is just too much, I'm not going to do it. So sometimes simpler is better, and then we just answer their specific questions that they have.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Jessica. I wouldn't actually I would just tell her that we have amazing programs in fitness and nutritional that are amazing for pregnant women, and, kind of answer her questions and ask her some questions. And I would not even act like there's going to be a concern. And then, because if she has concerns, she will ask you. And then you can answer those specific questions, because I feel like sometimes, like, women are different, pregnant women are different everywhere. Like, I was not a woman when I was pregnant. I didn't go, oh my God, what am I putting in my body? Maybe I should have been. I mean, I stayed away from deli meat, but honestly, people eat so crappy when they're pregnant. Yeah. And people put stuff in their faces that, if they only knew what it was, right? And they never question it. No, but you put a quarter pounder with cheese in your face while you're pregnant, and you don't question what's in that. So, you'd be surprised. Some people are really like, because Jessica knows a lot because of her being a nurse, so she's super hyper aware of it. But there are a lot of people who aren't. And so I would wait until she has concerns and she asks you about those concerns, and then address them in as simple manner as possible. And like Jessica said, then I, give her the blog post and tell her what you know of, and then I would kind of just wait until if she gets more concerned, then you might go into like the science part of it or something like that. Like, I wouldn't overwhelm people with too much.
That makes sense. And I think that totally relates to like where I'm at in this process of like trying not to project Like I'm like, even last night I was talking to my sister's like super jazzed about doing this with me. And I'm just sitting here like thinking like, well, like she's trying to like save money, and I'm like totally over, like I'm spinning out in my head, like totally projecting all over the situation. And I was just like, oh gosh, like this has to change. If this is what I want to do and I want to really reach out, I've got to not be such a, like, because I'm coming off like overwhelming, and of course no one's gonna want to do this with me. And that's totally, it's something that I think I can manage, but it's also like a process for sure.
For everyone, please know, Britton.
Like like super
y'all
like
did
it's like it makes me anxious to put myself out there. And so me doing that last night was like, wow, like especially because I'm not, like, I realized that like I've avoided social media a lot more because of the negativity and the fear that I can feel from certain people. And I just like, so I'll just like sit there and I shut the door. And I love the way that, being able to reset that view of that, the positivity that can be in social media. And, it's really our job, if we want to see more positive, anything in the world, we've got to also be putting it out in the world too. And it's a choice that we make every day. And even avoiding it can kind of, and I'm not saying I added the problem by avoiding it, but if I can give more positivity to that and reach out to people that are hurting, that, similar to me, then that's a good thing, rather than avoiding altogether, for sure. So it's very cathartic. So I appreciate you guys pushing me last night, because I was like, dang, that was deep, and I'm a little vulnerable right now. And I know there's a lot of people in the world feeling that way, but like the reach and people like reaching out to me and connecting on that level, it makes you feel a little less lonely in this world. So I thought that was really cool. And seeing everyone else's posts, I'm like really proud of these women, even though I don't know hardly any of you. I look forward to getting to know, everyone. But when COVID is isolating and when everything else is, we just live in an isolated world, like to still feel connected amongst this, it's really, really neat. I'm kind of really jazzed about it. And I look forward to it for sure. So thank you guys. Yeah, no, seriously, I still like, I have like this pit in my stomach of the fact that I did it. Like, did I just do that? Like, did I just press post? Like, oh my gosh, like that's a picture of me in my stomach. Like, that's like, I don't even like hardly like feel like I show my stomach to my husband half the time right now. Right. With your insecurities, right? And I'm like, you guys. But it was good. It was really good. So thank you guys for sure.
I'm so proud of you, and I promise you, everyone on here can relate 100% to what you just said.
I was gonna say, I was the same way when I first started. Like I cared far too much what everyone thought of me back then. And it's so freeing to finally get to that point where you're okay, so I'll tell you, I told Sarah the other day that somebody who had reached out to me and was interested in Beachbody, and I did follow up with her a few times, she actually deleted me as a friend. And I laughed. I was like, that's kind of funny. Like, I totally know I didn't do anything wrong. And you got to understand, like, I looked at it differently. I was like, you know what? Why she deleted me had nothing to do with me. It had to do with her own self. She deleted me because I was somebody who was pushing past my fears. I was somebody who was pushing past my insecurities and showing up every day. And she wasn't in a place to do that for whatever her reasons are. And she didn't want to see that anymore. Like, that was where I kind of looked at it, because I was like, otherwise there's no reason for her to have done that, right? Because I made it very easy for her to tell me no, or, whatever. So don't ever worry that somebody is going to, like the quote that I put, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. Your people are going to love what you have to say if you're the light in the world, like you said, and just keep being that person that keeps bringing positivity and kindness to people. That's all that matters.
It kind of reminds me of, when we say the phrase, trim the fat. It doesn't mean just trimming the fat in our body, in our physique, in our nutrition. It is trimming the fat in our life that's not giving us anything good to feed off of. So that was like a nice revelation I just had. I was like, oh yeah, let's maybe a post. But thank you guys.
I think, and as soon as you get that first person that reaches out to you and is like, you changed my life, nothing else matters anymore. You could have 100 people tell you no, cut you down, whatever, but for one person to say, you actually changed my life. Thank you for not giving up on you or on me, it like gives me goosebumps to think about, because, 4 years in, that's happened to me several times. And I think that's why I'm so like fearless. I don't care. I will show up and I will be the light and I will forge through the fire, because people need me to, and they don't have the strength to do it themselves right now, but I'm going to be that strength for them right now until they find it in them to stand up. And that's what we do at the end of the day. That's a huge part of our job, and it's so freaking awesome, so, and this is how it starts, Britton. Like, I'm so proud of you, and like the growth, like they're growing pains, like it's not always super awesome, like fun. It's friggin' terrifying, but Pinterest tells us growth happens on the other side of our comfort zone. So I just love that. Thank you for sharing. And I agree. Like, I would just keep things really simple with the people and just be really excited. And every time you feel like you're saying too much, don't. Like, just keep it super simple. Voice memos are actually really helpful sometimes, instead of typing a bunch of stuff out. Sending, like if it's through Instagram or Facebook or even over text message, if you can send a voice memo, I would always do that over writing, because it's easier, and with kids and stuff too, it's easier. And then just keep it simple and about them. And remember 100%, you are matching their problems to a solution. Like, that's what we're kind of like, we're the advocate in the middle. You ask them what their problems are, and then a challenge pack of some kind is going to be their solution. It's the total solution. It will always save them money, and it will always get them better results. And if you can have that kind of confidence going into it, it'll make things a lot easier too. And we're here if you have any questions too, always. How are you guys? Anything else before I let you go?
I don't have the address to where the leadership is. The Diamond Retreat.
I will. I'm trying to finalize the schedule too, but I think we're gonna have to start. I know that not everyone can make it by noon on Friday, who's coming, but we might have to start at that time. I know, I'm sorry, Sarah. I've tried it, but the people who I have who are gonna Zoom in, they can't. Like, one of them, the only time you do is 1:30, and then the other one, like the end of her available time is 3. So we're gonna have to get some. No, it's not this weekend. It's the last weekend, the 25th to the 27th. So the 26th, I'll be doing a post too, because any Emerald coach, local Emerald coach, is invited, for Emeralds or above, is invited to our team dinner, which will be fun. But yeah, that's one of my things I'm working on.
You guys, my 9-week Control Freak equipment isn't getting here until the second day that it's supposed to be starting.
Oh, fun. It's okay.
I told Sarah, I go, I'm going to track it. And if it gets to Sacramento, like on Friday or Saturday or something, I'm going to be like calling them and go, listen, hold it. I'm coming.
Let's go. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for you. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get to packing. You guys are amazing. Thanks for showing up today, and I will see you later. Bye.
Bye.